In the summer of 1904, Gordon McGregor, the president of the Walkerville Wagon Works of Walkerville, Ontario, approached an up-and-coming American auto manufacturer named Henry Ford to propose opening a Canadian auto plant. The deal they made launched Canada's largest and oldest car-building business. I'm Dumaresq, Exhibit and Project Coordinator for the Canadian Automotive Museum, and today we're going to see what car building looked like at Ford Canada in 1925. The footage you're about to see comes mainly from Across Canada with Ford, a full-length documentary made by the company to celebrate its 21st birthday. The Walkerville plant covered hundreds of acres. Note the huge Ford Motor Company of Canada sign, torn down during the Second World War for scrap metal. A new engine building, designed by legendary industrial architect Albert Kahn, was built between 1922 and 1923. It covered more than 900,000 square feet, including what was then Canada's largest coal-fired power plant. When the factory first opened, its position on the Detroit River made it easy to ship raw materials in from Ford plants across the US border. By the 1920s, though, most Ford components were made in Canada with Canadian materials. Ford's operation was big in every sense of the word. In the mid-1920s, the factory employed around 5,300 people, and was responsible for making 70% of all cars sold in Canada. Ford owned many of the mines that supplied it with steel, and the forests that supplied it with timber. Processing raw materials was a huge part of the company's supply line. Workers forge an engine crankshaft in the brand new Plant No. 2, at the time the largest industrial facility in Canada. Ford's industrial processes were all about hyper-efficiency, performing the most steps in the smallest amount of time to produce the largest possible output. Though complex to set up and modify once production was underway, mass production machines like the ones you see here helped drive the price of the cars down. Between 1908 and 1927, the price of a Model T dropped from $975 to only $325. Notice the large windows and substantial natural light in the upholstery department, signatures of Albert Kahn's industrial architecture. On the practical side, large windows help save on the cost of electric lighting. The vehicles you'll see under construction are the new Ford, the 1926 Model T, which incorporated an all-steel body with a wooden roof. Individual body panels like these were stamped out on site and could be rapidly bolted together. During earlier model years, Canadian Model Ts had been visibly different from their American counterparts, with a wider range of colors, differently shaped rear windows, and a more slanted front windscreen. By 1925, these visual changes were mostly lost, but Canadian models could still be identified. Among other things, they used different tail lights, hubcaps, horn buttons, and Canadian-made Robertson screws. Model Ts were only available in black from 1914 to 1925. One of the big changes for the 1926 model year was the reintroduction of color options. These two-door sedans were now available in green. It's worth noting that Ford's engineers didn't invent the assembly line. They did invent the continuous moving assembly line, though, and perfected it to the point that a Model T could be assembled from scratch in around 93 minutes. Engine blocks with "Made in Canada" on them were first produced in Windsor in late 1919. As the finishing touches are put on the chassis, notice the large, swooping mudguards and running boards, one of the signatures of the 1926 Model Ts. A touring car body is swung into place and mated with the chassis. The vehicle you see driving off the assembly line would eventually be used on an epic multi-week endurance drive from Halifax to Victoria, but that's a story for another time. Although Ford no longer makes vehicles in Windsor, the plant remains an important centre for manufacturing parts that are used in the company's cars and trucks. If you'd like to learn more about the Ford plant or the history of Ford across Canada, consider visiting the Canadian Automotive Museum in Oshawa, Ontario, or check out our website at canadianautomotivemuseum.com.